prayers, Mangalacharan for Srimad Bhagwatam. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki आराध्यो भगवान् व्रजेशतनयस् तद्धाम वृन्दावनम् रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधू वर्गेण वा कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणम् अमलं प्रेम पुमार्थो महान् श्रीचैतन्य महाप्रभुर्मतमिदं तत्र दरा न परा ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, anybody has to say anything? I heard somebody calling Mataji. Are we good? Should we start? All right. So today we are going to do the story of churning of the milk ocean. So as usual, once upon a time, what happened? The demigods and the demons, they got into a major fight, and the demons headed by Bali Maharaj and the demigods headed by Indradev, they got into a fight. And this time, so sometimes, as usual, sometimes whenever they would fight, sometimes the demons would win, sometimes the demigods would win. This time, because Bali Maharaj was with the demons, Indra, along with all the other demigods, Lord Indra, along with all the other demigods, was not able to cope up with the kind of strength they were, they had to face. So they were getting defeated. And that was something which was not acceptable by Lord Indra. But they ended up winning. So what happened was they took over Amravati. Amravati is the capital of Lord Indra's heavenly planets. So basically, they took over Amravati, and they took over so many positions of the demigods, and they started ruling. This was a little too much for Lord Indra and all the other demigods. So they went to Lord Brahma. So when they reached Lord Brahma, they were very, very sad. And because obviously, Lord Indra is all about his, very, very possessive about his position. He's always fearful of his position being taken away. And that is one thing that is not acceptable by him at all. So he was very, very scared, and he was very, very angry. So he went and very politely, with folded hands, along with all the other demigods, he approached Lord Brahma, the creator, and he mentioned this to Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma, understanding the situation, the delicacy of the situation, he understood that this is something that it was beyond him. So he took all the demigods to the ocean milk to meet Lord Vishnu. There he went and he started meditating, and then he started meditating upon Lord Vishnu to invite him to talk to him. And then when Lord Vishnu appeared, he presented the entire episode, what was going on. Lord Vishnu very patiently heard everything, and he came to the conclusion that this time the demigods and the demons, they together will have to work in harmony till they get the nectar from the ocean of milk. So he presented this proposal to the demigods, and he told them that I know the demons will behave in a demoniac way. They will go by their nature. But the situation that you are in right now, even though as powerful as you are, you alone will not be able to get the nectar from the ocean milk. You will need the help of the demons. So you come up with a truce to Bali Maharaj, and together you churn the ocean of milk. And once the nectar is there, then I will intervene and I will take care of it. Till then, do not oppose to anything that the demons say, because the demon itself means that they have no control over their senses. So he said that they, being the demons, they will behave in a demoniac way, and please do not argue back. Be tolerant, be patient, work together till we get the nectar. So this was a proposal that was given to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma and all the other demigods who were present there, glorifying Lord Vishnu and seeking his help. So then Lord Vishnu, listening to his advice, following his advice, Indra understood that alone he could not win this battle. So he went up to Bali Maharaj, and he told Bali Maharaj that, let's call it a truce, and what we are going to do, I've heard that there is nectar in the ocean of milk, and whoever drinks that nectar is going to become invincible. We alone as demigods cannot do it, and you demons alone won't be able to do it either. So let's do it together and let's share the nectar. That way, we both will win. So Bali Maharaj heard the proposal and he liked it, because who doesn't want to be invincible? So he thought that, okay, nobody will be able to conquer them in any battle. That's what they wanted, having a demoniac mentality. That's what all the demons were thinking at that time. So then they agreed. They agreed to help each other churn the ocean of milk to get the nectar. Now the question was, how would they do it? Ocean of milk is ocean, and that too, it's not a regular ocean of the material world. It is in the material world, but it's the vastness is too much. So they were trying to figure out how to churn the ocean. So they came to the conclusion that, along with the help of Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, that they are going to use Mandrachal mountain. Mandrachal mountain is a very heavy gold mountain. We know gold is heavy in general, and this whole mountain was made of gold. So how heavy it would be? So they decided that they are going to use Mandrachal mountain as a churning rod. Now, they need a rope to churn too. So they decided that Vasuki, the head of the snakes, is going to be the rope that they are going to use to churn the ocean. So then together, the demons and the demigods, they went with a lot of labor, a lot of hard work. They were barely able to uproot the Mandrachal mountain. It was so heavy. Now, it was so difficult to uproot the mountain. How would they carry it to the ocean of milk? In fact, when they were trying to do that, so many demons and so many demigods, they were being crushed under the mountain. When Lord Vishnu saw that, so as usual, when he's the one who comes to the rescue, so he came to their rescue and he carried the mountain and he put it on Garuda, which is his carrier, an eagle bird. And then he moved it to the ocean of milk. And then with his glance, he revived all the demigods who were crushed by that, and the demons who were crushed under the mountain. Now, carrying this Mandrachal mountain, he put it on a Garuda, and then Garuda carried it to the ocean. Now, when they put the Mandrachal mountain in the ocean, obviously being so heavy, it sank. Now it sank, then how do you use it as a churning rod? They were very confused. Again, who comes to rescue? Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu was there all along. He was watching what was going on, and when needed, he was being of their help. He was being of some help to them. So then, but the major battle was going on between the demons and the demigods. So then Lord Vishnu, he came and he took the form of Kurmadev. So that is the second of the Dashavatars. He took the form of Kurmadev, which is a tortoise, and he swam under the ocean, and he brought the mountain up on his back, and then he let them use him as Kurma, as the base on which they would place the mountain and then churn it. So then now came the rope. So then Vasuki, the snake Vasuki, was present, and he was to be used as the rope as per his consent. So now, as usual, the demons and the demigods, they fight over petty things, anything and everything. So now the question was, who's going to hold the front side, the head side of the Vasuki, and who's going to hold the tail side. So now Lord Indra wanted, and the demigods, they wanted to hold the head of the head part of the Vasuki, and the demons, they also wanted to hold the head, but they were like, why should we go for the tail? We also want head. So this was pretty annoying to Lord Indra, but because Lord Vishnu had asked them to tolerate and be patient and not get carried away by such petty things, they agreed. Lord Vishnu was present there, as I told you. So, he can be present in multiple forms. So he took the form of Lord Kurma to help them, get the base for the churning. And then he was himself present there. He looked at Indra, and then he told Indra, come on, let's go and hold the tail of the Vasuki. Indra got the message. So along with Lord Vishnu and Lord Indra, he took the lead and he took them there at the end of the tail of Vasuki. And then the demigods, this is one of the leadership qualities. So then so all the demigods, they agreed, because they understood that at that point of time, Lord Vishnu told them that the head or the tail of the Vasuki at this point of time is not important. What is important is the nectar. We need the nectar. So let's get over this part and start churning. So then they agreed and they started churning the ocean of milk. So many things came out of the ocean of milk. So first, to begin with, came out the poison by the name of halahal. This poison was so strong. It was so strong that just by the smell of it, so many of the demons and the demigods were getting unconscious. So now who's going to take care of this? It's so strong, it's so pungent, and it's something which the demons or the demigods could not handle on their own. So again, Lord Vishnu came to their rescue, and the demigods, on his advice, they asked Lord Shiva to come and take care of this the poison. So Lord Shiva came, and Lord Shiva, on the request of Lord Vishnu and other demigods, started drinking the poison. Now, even though it was poison, it did not affect Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva, he, on the request of Lord Vishnu and other demigods, he was taking up this poison to help save the universe. So, when you have the mercy of the Lord, then things which are supposed to affect you in a bad way, they will not, just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was given the poison by his own father, but that poison did not affect him because he had the mercy of the Supreme Lord in the form of the name of the Lord. He was chanting the name of the Lord, and the name of the Lord is not different from the Lord. So he had that mercy. Similarly, here, Lord Shiva had the mercy of Lord Vishnu. So this did not have an adverse effect on Lord Shiva, though the poison was so strong that the throat of Lord Shiva turned blue. So it was that strong. Now, while drinking the poison, few drops fell on the ground. Now, all the snakes and the scorpions and all these, poisonous bugs, which are now poisonous, they ended up drinking that poison. Now, the question may arise that why didn't they die? Because the poison was so strong that even the demigods and the demons were just being unconscious by the smell of it. Why did not it have an effect on these scorpions and snakes, and why did they get the quality of poison? The reason is because it was coming from the mouth of a Vaishnava. So it was prasad. Now, prasad means mercy. So in that regard, the poison did not have the effect on that the snakes and the snakes and the scorpions and other poisonous bugs would die. But in fact, they imbibe the quality of the poison, and that's why we have all these poisonous snakes around us. It is coming from there. So then, moving on to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, now he drank the whole poison, and his whole throat was blue. And now, so slowly, different things were coming out from the ocean. After halahal, you know how it is, anything that begins with poison in the beginning and it tastes as nectar in the end comes in the quality of satogun. We know that in the material world also. In Bhagavad Gita, it is very clearly explained that the quality of satogun is that initially it tastes like poison, and then the net result is very nectarian. So this is exactly what was happening here. To begin with came, by the churning came out halahal, which was such a deadly poison. And then slowly, with time, different things started coming out, which were of utmost value. Then, for instance, there was Surabhi cow. So this cow was very, so when this cow came out, all the Brahmins became very happy, because generally Brahmins, they use cow milk and cow ghee and cow, so many products of cow, the cow dung also for the fire sacrifice. So it is something of, much value to the Brahmanas, the milk product. So when Surabhi cow came from the ocean of milk, the Brahmanas were very happy. They were very thankful, and they were very happy to serve the Surabhi cow. Then came a white celestial horse, so by the name of Uchashrava. Uchashrava was a pure white horse, and Bali Maharaj immediately wanted to own the horse. In fact, Lord Indra also wanted to own the horse, but again, Lord Vishnu told him, horse is not the aim, nectar is the aim, let Bali Maharaj have it. So then Bali Maharaj owned the horse. This horse was very nice, very good looking, pure white horse. Then after that, came Eravat. Eravat is the elephant. So like Lord Vishnu has a carrier, Garud, we were reading. Similarly, Eravat became the carrier of Lord Indra. Lord Indra, this was a very strong elephant with 4 tusks. Normally, there are 2 tusks in an elephant, but this Eravat had 4 tusks. And anyway, so then, they started, so they were churning. Then came out a very nice jewel, Kastubha jewel, which was owned by Lord Vishnu. So anywhere we see, the picture of Lord Vishnu, he's always garlanded with this jewel, the Kastubha jewel. This also came from the ocean of, by the churning of this ocean. So then, now after this came a very beautiful, attractive, celestial female, a goddess, and this goddess was Ramadevi. So she was none other than expansion of Lord, goddess Lakshmi. So what happens is, Vaikuntha is above this material planet. So there Lord Vishnu is present as Narayan and Lakshmi Devi is present as Lakshmi Devi. But when when Lord Narayan comes to the material world, he is Lord Vishnu, and there also goddess of Lakshmi wanted to have her consort as Lord Vishnu. So she comes as Ramadevi, and when she appeared from the ocean of milk, all these demons and demigods, they obviously got very drawn to her, but the demigods eventually understood that she was goddess of Lakshmi, and even though they were trying to win her attention, but she was just looking for Lord Vishnu. And as soon as she saw Lord Vishnu, she went and she garlanded Lord Vishnu, because that's her eternal consort. So the demigods were very happy because they had already understood the position of Ramadevi. Now, but the demons, they got really upset. They got very angry. But then they continued churning, and slowly, many different things were coming out. And then came out a very handsome and good-looking person by the name, who was carrying a pot, who was carrying the pot of nectar, and this is exactly what they were looking for. His name was Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari means the god of medicines, basically, of the god of health. So he was carrying this pot, and the moment they saw the pot, the demons, they literally grabbed the pot. They took the pot from Dhanvantari. This really angered the demigods. But again, remembering the words of Lord Vishnu, they tried to control their anger, because Lord Vishnu had told them that during the whole process of churning, there will be time when the demons are going to behave like demons. This was one such time. And he had asked them to maintain their calm, and then Lord Vishnu will come to their rescue. So they were just waiting. They were just seeing what was going on. And here, the entire pot was was in the hands of the demons. And the demigods, they were just looking at the whole scene that was going on. And now, the demons will behave like demons. So even though they got the pot of nectar, now they started fighting over who will drink it, because the demigods, in the demons also, there were different categories. Some were very strong, some were not that very strong. So the stronger demons, they were fighting with the less strong demons over the pot of nectar. The demigods were just standing and praying to Lord Vishnu and waiting to see the miracle happen. And they were angry, not that they were not angry, but because they were obeying the words of Lord Vishnu, they were maintaining their patience, and they were having the patience, and they were maintaining their calm and just waiting and watching what was going on. While all this was going on the shore of ocean of milk, on that ocean, there came out a very beautiful lady, so beautiful that the demons or the demigods had never ever seen such beauty. They were so attracted to this lady. The demons, they went up to her and they asked her, "Who are you?" So she said that, "I am just walking by, but what are you guys doing here? I'm not attached to anyone. I'm not married. I'm just walking here, but I'm wondering, what are you all doing here?" So the demons told her that we have this pot of nectar, and we are just arguing over who's going to drink it first. If you don't mind, can you help us decide? And can you help us decide over this nectar? So then this beautiful lady, she was smiling, and she was saying, "Why do you want me to do it? And how will you trust me that I'm not going to do what you want me to do in the right way? How can you trust me with that? So because they were so drawn and so blinded by her beauty that they told her that whatever you do, we are fine with it. It's just that we're not able to decide on our own. We need somebody to help us. Can you please help us? So so this beautiful lady was by the name of Mohini Murti. So she said, okay, I'm going to help you, but only on one condition. The condition will be whatever I do, you are not going to question me. So these demons, they were so drawn by the beauty that they agreed. They agreed to her condition and they said, okay, whatever, we will just watch you, what you're doing, and we will not question you. So then these demons, so then Mohini Murti, she said, okay, now if you want me to do it, first I want all of you to go and take a bath and clean yourself, come back, and then I am going to serve this nectar to all of you. So all the demigods and the demons, they all went, they all, took bath in the ocean and came back, wore new clothes, new garments, and they did all their rituals, which they were supposed to do, the Gayatri and everything, before getting into a big yagya. That's what you do. So they did all those rituals. They came in front of Mohini Murti, and then Mohini Murti made them sit in two different rows. In one side all the demons and one side all the demigods. And then she started serving. All of them had their cups ready, and she started serving this nectar. While doing that, she made sure that she is at the side of demigods, serving them first, and she was just exchanging glances with the demons, and so intoxicated by her beauty, they did not object at all. They were so lost in her beauty that they didn't even understand what was going on for a while. So this kept on going for a while, and then some of them understood that there's something fishy. They had little doubt that why is she not coming to us, and why is she just going on and giving this nectar to the demigods. But because they had given their word to her and they wanted to impress her that even though they were demons, they could keep up and live up to their words, none of them objected. And this kept on going. She kept looking at them. She was giving them a smile. They were smiling back without questioning her. And in the meanwhile, she was just giving the nectar to all the demigods. Now, while this was going on, there was another demon who understood that the whole nectar is gone, and he was trying to understand. He was trying to figure out what was happening, and he understood that this Mohini Murti is not giving nectar to any of the demons. So he wanted to protect his position, because the whole point of drinking that nectar would be that you would become invincible and nobody will be able to conquer you. So he understood that his demon friends were taken over by the beauty, but he understood that that's not what he wanted. He didn't want to be fooled any further. So what he did was he disguised himself as a demigod and went and sat in between two demigods holding his cup so that she could pour some nectar in it. Now, when his chance came, Mohini Murti, because she was so busy distracting the demons, she did not pay attention to who was she pouring the nectar, in whose cup was she pouring the nectar. So she ended up pouring the nectar in the cup of this demon whose name was Rahu. So when he started drinking, there were two demigods, and he was sitting in between the two demigods. One side was Suryadev and one side was Chandradev. Both Suryadev and Chandradev noticed, and they figured it out that he was not a demigod, he was a demon. Now, when he started drinking, he had just touched the nectar to his lips, and they understood. So they shouted to Mohini Murti that he is not a demigod, he is a demon, and he is sitting here. He should not be drinking this nectar. And Rahu, by that time, whatever nectar he was about to drink had just reached his mouth. It didn't go down his neck. And quickly, Mohini Murti held her, one of her fingers up in the air, and from there came a Sudarshan Chakra, and that Sudarshan Chakra cut the head of Rahu. That is why the head of the Rahu became immortal, but the body died. So this came as a shock to all the demons. They understood that Mohini Murti was none other than Lord Vishnu, because Sudarshan Chakra is only Lord Vishnu's weapon. So they understood this, and they were very disturbed by this whole scene. And there again, started another battle between the demons and the demigods. Now, while this was happening, we heard that how Lord Shiva, when he drank the poison, few drops fell on the ground, which were taken by the snakes and the scorpions and the poisonous bugs, and that's how they got their poison. But because it was prasad coming from the mouth of the greatest Vaishnav, they did not die, but they took the quality of that poison, and that became a part of them in general. The same thing happened with Rahu. Now, Rahu, when he drank and when his head was cut by Sudarshan Chakra, the drops of poison fell from his mouth to the ground, where there were many herbs and shrubs and plants which did take up this poison. But there, the important thing to understand is there Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnav. So anything which was coming from the mouth of Lord Shiva was prasad. But because Rahu was a demon, so anything coming from the mouth of a demon, or for that matter, something that is not prasad in the category, and it is not coming from the right source, is called so basically it's, how do you say, the plants and the shrubs, they have, because it is the nectar, right? It is the nectar which was absorbed by the plants and the herbs and the shrubs, so they do have that medicinal value. But because it is coming from the mouth of a demon, it is called uchishta. Uchishta is something juta, like that, which is contaminated. So because it is contaminated, you get the consciousness, the contaminated consciousness of the person from where it is coming. So but because it is nectar as well, that was falling from the mouth of the demon, the nectar won't lose its quality. So these herbs and shrubs and the plants which on which this poison fell, this nectar fell, they have those medicinal values. But because it is coming from the mouth of the demon, which is not prasad, it is uchishta, and because it is uchishta, it is not consumed by the Vaishnavas. So in this category comes generally, the onion garlic category. If you see, they do have medicinal values, but because it is coming from the mouth of a demon, it is not acceptable by Vaishnavas, because Vaishnavas only take the remnants of the Supreme Lord. So it is not prasad. It is so then yes, after this, so this is the difference between, this is a very big difference between uchishta and prasad, and we have both examples here, how when coming from the lotus mouth of Lord Shambhu, Vaishwanath Yatha Shambhu he is the highest, greatest Vaishnav. So it becomes prasad, but at the same time, coming from the mouth of a demon, how it is not acceptable. Now, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Couldn't hear you first.
I hear you too. Yes, I don't know how I lost you all, but I am back now. And I joined from another device. I don't know what went wrong with my iPad. But anyway, so where were we? So yes, so then there another fight began with, so then another fight started amongst the demons and the demigods. Now, there was, another demon here by the name of Kalanemi. He was very upset. He was very upset because he understood what Lord Vishnu was doing. He understood that Mohini Murti was none other than Lord Vishnu. He understood that now, he was already helping them, Lord Vishnu. And now again, Lord Vishnu is present here in the form of Mohini Murti. And now he's helping them again. So he was very, very disturbed. He was thinking this is totally unfair. This should not be done. So he, with the intention of trying and wanting and desiring to kill Vishnu, he threw a trident at Lord Vishnu. and there this fight is going on simultaneously between the demons and the demigods, and this Kalanemi is attacking Lord Vishnu with a trident. So then Lord Vishnu, obviously with his Sudarshan Chakra, he just cut the trident into pieces. And then obviously Kalanemi was also killed by Lord Vishnu, but it is said that because Kalanemi had a desire to kill Lord Vishnu till his last breath, he took the body of Kamsa in his next birth, where again he was trying to fulfill his desire by trying to kill Lord Krishna, who is the source of Lord Vishnu. So because this was happening, so this is the pastime of Kalanemi, but the fight, going back to the fight, now this fight was going on between the demons and the demigods for so long, and Lord Vishnu was trying to help the demigods, and the demons were getting very upset, and there was actually no end to this war that was going on. So there comes Narad Muni, who by the permission of Lord Brahma comes at the site, and he tries to explain this to the demons and the demigods, that enough is enough. We know that they got the nectar, the demigods, so they won the battle. There is no point continuing this battle, and just let's put an end to it for now. So they were also getting very exhausted, even though, see, the point is, even though the demigods, they got the nectar, but the anger of the demons was so strong, they were so ferocious, they were coming back to the demigods with more strength, more power, but they already had their nectar, so it was difficult for them to defeat. So they were not able to defeat each other. There was no end to this war, and it was continuing. And so Narad Muni, then with the permission of Lord Brahma, he came, and then he he tried to make this understand to both of them, the demons and the demigods, that there was no point. And then by intervention of Narad Muni, for that particular time, this battle came to an end, and the demigods, they won over their Amravati again. They went back to their capital, and they were happy. And the demons, as usual, they were thinking how to attack demigods again another time. So at this note, I would like to end. And if anybody has any questions, then we can talk about it. Any comments?
Thank you so much, Mataji, for a wonderful session. I request to all the participants, if you have any questions, any comments, you have to just raise your hands and feel free to ask to Mataji. If anybody have any question, Manhar, please unmute yourself. Manhar?
Yeah, my question is, what is a tribal?
What is what?
What is a tribal?
Tribal.
Yeah.
Tribal. We didn't use the word tribal here. Tribal itself is a class of human beings, but tribal in general was not a part of the story.
She said trident.
A trident. What is
Trident is a weapon. It's a weapon.
Yeah.
Oh. And I have heard the story before.
Nice.
And I thought the other demon's name was Ketu.
Oh, Rahu and Ketu, that time there was one demon. No, not Ketu was not there. Rahu was there.
Oh.
But yes, there is a demon by the name Ketu also.
Who's Ketu?
Another demon.
Was he in the story too?
No.
Oh.
Ramachandra, Krishna Chaitanya.
Ramachandra has a question. So Mataji, you said that that the horse was given to Bali Maharaj. I think it's named Ucheshrava. So Bhagavad Gita says that Krishna says in the 10th chapter that of horses known me to be Ucheshrava. Like, why did he say that? Because he was given to Bali Maharaj, right?
Bali
he's
Maharaj
superior.
Bali Maharaj was a descendant of Prahalad Maharaj. So though he was in the body of a demon, in the category of a demon, but he was a devotee from heart.
Okay. Wait, Bali Maharaj was a devotee too of Vishnu?
He was the grandson of Prahalad Maharaj.
Yeah.
So just like Prahalad Maharaj appeared in the family of a demon, but he was a devotee, just like that.
So Bali Maharaj is a devotee of Vishnu too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I did not know that.
Now you know it.
Does anybody have any questions? Please raise your hand. So, Mataji, we don't have any questions more. So, if you allow, we wind up our call.
Sure, Mother.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वैष्णवेन्द्र की जय। प्रभुपाद की जय। नयन मंजरी माता जी की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much.